Alright, Algebra 1, this is lesson 5.4, and we're talking about the point-slope form of a line. Really exciting stuff, so let's get started. You should by now already know that you're going to set your paper up for Cornell note-taking. This is lesson 5.4. You can write lesson 5.4 at the top, point slope. Get your paper ready for the essential question, which is based on today's learning target, or the learning target for lesson 5.4, and that's simply write and graph equations in point-slope form. Remember, you're going to write how do you as your essential question. You can hit pause and resume when you're ready to go. Alright, well, so far you've learned how to write an equation of a line by using its y-intercept, and in this lesson you're going to learn how to write an equation without using the y-intercept. And you're going to do that using a form called the point-slope form. Here it is. So if you're taking good notes, you're going to write down point-slope form, and then all you need to do is copy this equation that I'm putting a box around. Now, I've noticed on the videos sometimes it's difficult to see, so I'll write it bigger. Here's what this means. Y minus y1 means y minus the y coordinate of one point. And that's equal to m, you should already know this is the slope, times the quantity in parentheses x minus the x coordinate of one point. So this equation has a slope and the coordinates of a point, which is why it's called the point-slope form. Ooh. Now how does it work? Well, first of all, I just want to show you why it works, where the equation comes from. You do not have to write this down. You should just watch. I find it interesting. You might find it interesting as well, but either way, just sit back and enjoy it. Remember that if you have a complex fraction like this one, putting parentheses around it is helpful to keep it straight and keep the numerator and denominator together until you've simplified them. You can simplify this equation by using cross products. So I'm going to write the m over 1. Now if I cross multiply 1 times y2 minus y1 and cross multiply m times x2 minus x1, what I end up with is 1 times y2 minus y1 is just y2 minus y1. And that's equal to m times x2 minus x1. Now because this formula, or this form of a linear equation, is called the point slope, it just implies that you have one point. So this y coordinate and this x coordinate will be variables. So I'm just going to replace y2 with just a simple y, and this x coordinate with a simple x. And there it is. That is the point-slope form, and that's how it came about. So what does it look like for you? Well, on your assignment today you will see problems like problem number 1. Fairly simple. A line passes through the point -3, 6 and has a slope of -5. What's the equation of the line? All you have to do on your paper is write down the point and the slope. Now in this lesson it's important that you write out the form over and over again so that by the time you're done with this lesson you'll be perfect. You'll have it all memorized. So I'm going to write out the equation. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. All you do is you take the x and y coordinate of the point and the slope and you put it in the formula. So you're going to end up with y minus whatever the y coordinate is, 6, and that's equal to whatever m is, that's -5, times the quantity x minus whatever the x coordinate is, that's -3. Now notice that when I put in the x coordinate, it's x minus -3. Remember that when you subtract a negative, really what you're doing is adding a positive. So I'm going to write this out one more time so it's clean and finished, and my answer is done. Y minus 6 equals negative 5 times the quantity x plus 3. That's it. Super simple. Here's problem 2. In problem 2 it says, what is the graph of the equation y minus 1 equals 2/3 times the quantity x minus 2? So if it says what is the graph, that means you're going to have to graph it. But before you can graph it, you have to pull some information out of the equation. This equation is written in point-slope form, so you're going to pull out the slope and you're going to pull out the coordinates of a point. The slope is fairly simple. It's just the number in front of the parentheses that has the x-coordinate in it, so the slope is 2/3. The point will always be y minus and x minus, so the point is this x-coordinate and this y-coordinate. X-coordinate is 2, y-coordinate is 1. So, to make a graph, you just make yourself a coordinate plane. You start the graph with a point. So I'm going to plot the point 2, 1, 2, 1. From this point, 2, 1, my line has a slope of 2/3. That means up 2 and over 3. So from this point 2, 1, I'm going to climb up 2 and over 3. There's another point. Now at this point I could make my line. It only takes 2 points to make a line, but 3 points makes a good line. So I'm going to do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, or excuse me, 1, 2, up, 1, 2, 3, over. So to finish up the problem, I'm just going to connect the dots. And there's the graph of the equation y minus 1 equals 2/3 times the quantity x minus 2. And you should label it y minus 1 equals 2/3 times x minus 2. Okay, in this problem it says what's the equation of the line at the right? So now we're going to kind of go backwards. I'm going to give you the graph. You have to figure out what the equation looks like. Well, since we're talking about point slope lines, we're going to give an equation in this form. So all I really need to figure out from the graph is what's the slope and what is the coordinate of one point. By now, finding the slope of a line should be fairly quick and easy for you. 2 points are already given. You calculate or you find the rise over the run. And in this case I rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I go up 7. And I run 1, 2, 3. So to the right is positive, that's positive 3. The slope is rise over run. That's it. Now there's 2 points listed on the graph. You just need one of them. I'm going to pick the easiest one, this one. It looks easier to me. If you decided to choose the other point, your answer would be just as correct. So all I do is put the slope, 7/3, in place of the slope, m. And that's multiplied by x minus whatever the x-coordinate is. That's 1. And that's equal to y minus whatever the y-coordinate is. That's 4. And I'm done. The equation for the line shown in the graph is y minus 4 equals 7/3 times the quantity x minus 1.